In ancient Greek mythology, the story of Sisyphus is about a man that earned the wrath of an angry, petty god, forever spending his afterlife in torment of trying to roll a boulder uphill, only for the boulder to roll all the way back to the bottom, forcing the cycle to repeat over and over again, giving the man the briefest glimpse of hope that things will finally end, only to have to suffer even more for it. That's me. I'm Sisyphus. The wrathful god is Amazon, and the boulder in question is the fact that every single time I pray that they'll stop releasing poorly written, creatively bankrupt seasons of The Boys that I'll have to waste a few months of my life reviewing, they laugh in my face and create them anyways, forcing me to rip them apart while the apes on Reddit tell me it's the greatest piece of television ever written. Don't you worry, my little Skella boys, we're going to be getting a proper in-depth review of this season at some point, and then I'll get to watch you in the comments complaining that a review video that's based on 7.5 hours of TV is over an hour long because what the fuck were you expecting? But seeing as how this season has just been released, I decided that I would actually give you my initial thoughts surrounding this piece of The Boys cinematic universe.
What can I say except...
Now, I know what you're thinking. Look at these two posters and tell me what's wrong. Take a good hard look, don't be shy. Can you guess what's wrong with this season? That's right, Male Jordan's hair is far too long now. They completely ruined my delicious little Asian boy toy. Also, they got rid of the black one. Now, if you've seen my video on Marvel Zombies, a TV show that so few people cared about that Elizabeth Olsen completely forgot she was even in it, then you understand that I really do hate when a piece of media will just kill off a character just because the original actor that plays them is now dead. Now, I can understand people being upset over the actor dying, of course, it's a very sad thing. But at the end of the day, these are characters. The actors can be replaced so the story with them can continue. There's two things that annoy me in regard to Andre being killed off. The first one being that most of the characters in this show are extremely generic, so if you thought I'd be heartbroken over him dying, you had another thing coming. People being affected by Black Panther being killed off I can understand. His movie was one of the most boring, nonsensical pieces of media forced into the popular zeitgeist. Sorry, I mean his movie was great and amazing and an icon of black culture, so I can get if they just kill the character off to honour him. But this guy? He's got no impact on anything in any way whatsoever. You didn't even remember his name was Andre until I mentioned him a minute ago. The second thing is that Chance Perdomo died literally right before everything was about to get rolling and the cast was starting to learn their lines. This means that to take him out in the middle of production, you have to completely rewrite the season right when they're about to start shooting. And that's what they did, which means not only does the season feel very bare bones and lackluster even by The Boys standards, but in the early episodes they have to have 1 or 2 scenes each episode talking about how he died and informing other people that yes, he is dead. You think I really want to hear the same conversation like 6 times? So now that I've gotten that little rant out the way, what else can we talk about? Ah yes, the politics of course, considering how much of a intellectual powerhouse this franchise has become after adopting the philosophy of Trump bad. Haha, get it guys? Trump says,
We will make America great again.
And this poster of Homelander has Make America Super Again. Genuinely, imagine getting paid over $70,000 a year to pump out shit like this and then having the nerve to go on strike and claim you're not getting paid enough for your hard work. You copy and paste things from real life and then you change one thing and you call that hard work. If you ever wanted to know that God exists and he hates us, just remember that 150 people die from coconuts each year and the people writing this shit aren't any of them. In all fairness, it does an excellent job of depicting left-wing protesters and equal rights, anti-fascist groups like Antifa. Literally, their main point here is about fighting a regime and making sure the humans are treated as equally as soups, and they go about this by doing absolutely nothing of significance whatsoever and by intentionally fucking over the people they claim to be fighting for. This human woman is constantly under the threat of death because of her species, and these leftist fuckers think the best way to help her is to keep deliberately framing her as being a starlighter. I would like to say that this is a spot-on chef's kiss depiction of how brain dead the far left are in terms of their actions and how they've been written here, except those same people run the show and therefore they never get called out for intentionally fucking over people's lives so they can feel special. On top of the half-arsed political commentary, you once again have a show that thinks it can be as discriminatory and racist as possible as long as it goes after white people.
Chosen ones are like Harry Potter, Neo, fucking Frodo, baby-faced white dudes.
Shut the fuck up.
with the show itself being made by people who are so ashamed of their own race they just list themselves as something else. But in all seriousness, what's up with the Hollywood elite trying to pretend they aren't the ethnicity that they obviously are and pretending that they're a religion now? If I descend from people who worshipped the flying spaghetti monster, does that make me a pastafarian instead of white? Jewish man was here.
How can you tell?
Floppy cocks, no tits.
Bazinga!
Hey look, a greasy, unwashed moron that likes to fuck dogs. It's nice to see the leftist Twitch streamers getting some representation in this universe finally. Now, we've got your favourite characters back. We have Marie, the bland bag of human body parts who not only has the exact same goals and motivations that she did in season 1, but now she's become an even bigger Mary Sue than she was in the previous season. She'll try to do something, fuck up once, get some sort of benign pep talk about embracing her true self, and then she'll accomplish the exact same action perfectly without fail. Hey, we just saw her accidentally destroy a bag of blood. Should we show a few more takes of her failing but getting better before she finally succeeds? No, let's have her immediately succeed in moving 19 bags of blood after she couldn't move one before, because everyone loved when Rey Palpatine could just instantly succeed at shit, right? So yeah, 2 seasons of character development and she's just as boring as ever. Emma and Jordan are here. Moving on, we have Kate, and I have no idea what she's doing this season. The end of the first season and her brief appearance in The Boys showed that she had slowly become a self-righteous sociopath who was willing to do all sorts of horrible shit to people, including fucking over her own friends. And then this season she's like, "Hey guys, missed you so much. Sorry for getting you imprisoned, lol." And bear in mind, that's before she gets the brain damage.
Gotcha, bitch!
She's very underused this season as well. Most of her scenes are just her trying to use her powers, but things go wrong because of her brain damage and they end up making some people fucking gnome. That's all her character really becomes, just a joke. Sam is actually alright this season. They try and focus on his family and how much they missed him. They are just frightened because of his mental illness and he tries to stop using that as an excuse to lash out and hurt people. It's decent enough, just it feels a bit rushed because all the time they could be spending on him, they spend on Marie and Jordan wanting to finger blast each other. The final main character for this season is Cypher, the big bad. And he's pretty enjoyable to watch. He wants to find these scientific ways that soups use their powers and then find methods to make them stronger. So he'll do some little training exercises, like smashing a student's spine to pieces and making 2 students fight each other to the death in an arena. Real scientific shit like that.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
They do have a pretty good twist with him, one that unironically gets spoiled because he has to flop the old Todger out with Sister Sage. But besides that, I thought it was an interesting thing to do with your villain, and yeah, it was probably the best part of this season. So what is the plot of this season? Well, remember last season? Yeah, the first half of this one is just 80% of that. Despite being sent to prison and slandered as terrorists, the 3 heroes just immediately get sent back to college and they engage in the same shit they did before, doing stuff for social media and trying to uncover the plot of the big bad who was using Godorkin to run their experiments. These people just got a pay rise and the best they could do is copy and paste half of their ideas from season 1 for this season. Things do start to switch up in episode 5 when they all get sent to prison and they find Marie's sister, Annabeth. You want to hear what most of the dialogue from this moment forward sounds like?
Annabeth! Annabeth! Annabeth. Annabeth! 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 Get Annabeth.
Mega faggot!
They all escape the prison and then Stan, Edgar and Zoe literally teleport into a fight scene to save them, taking them to his Avengers compound and explaining that Marie is the new Homelander. It turns out that Cypher wants to create a society where only the strongest survives, with Marie being his magnum opus. After trying to find Cypher, it turns out that on top of being the best queen of all time, she's also Black Woman Jesus, healing incurable ailments like the fucking Mary Sue that she is.
Rey Skywalker.
Cypher ends up phoning her and he's like, "Yo, don't do this thing that I definitely don't want you to do." And Marie's like, "Okay, I'm going to not catch on to the hint and I'm just going to do the thing that you actually want me to do." Unironically, one of the biggest drama points in this season is that Marie won't help Kate's brain damage so she can get her powers back. And then as soon as the entire group tell her to not follow the trap that Cypher is obviously setting for her, she immediately tries to heal Kate so she can mind control them, the thing she's been desperately against this entire season. on, just so she can fuck off and do what the bad guy wants her to do.
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut!
She's got the powers of a god but the brain of an infant. So she ends up meeting Thomas Godolkin, who was heavily burnt in a fire because a bunch of highly trained, expert level scientists decided the best way to test Compound V was to stand in an unsealed room in a circle and test it on themselves. I'm not joking here. How high were you when you wrote this? Now, despite Cypher's gimmick being that he can possess people, he has no Compound V in his human body system, he's in constant pain, and the fact that Marie should be able to spot that Godolkin has V in his bloodstream, Marie is too dumb to realise that Godolkin is a soup, healing him up and allowing him to start his plan of ripping off the Viltrumite society from Invincible.
We had to remove the weak from our society.
Now, you're probably wondering, how does Godolkin, a regular human, have powers? I mean, we saw in the opening scene that this Compound V is unstable and wouldn't work properly, so there's no way the writers would just make it magically work so he stays alive and the plot can happen, would they? The writers make sure that this dose works perfectly and he survives. If I can respect the writers for one thing, it's that when he gets his body back and he can use all of his senses, the first thing he does is devour everything he comes across and gets his dick wet. Yeah, he also starts purging people, but who wouldn't do stuff to violate the Geneva Convention after being trapped in a living coma for 80 years? So, remember how everyone complained that Sage's plan just didn't really make a lot of sense, and she seemed to just be taking credit for everything that happened? Well, it turns out that Sage somehow found Starlight, made sure she found out about Project Odessa, and then she knew with 100% certainty that she would save Marie and tell her to go back to Godolkin, starting the main plot. It was Sage all along. Again. Somehow. Again. The guy who Godolkin was controlling gets killed by Noir on the way to the hospital. Aw man, that sucks. If only there was someone in the car with him that can sense and control metal, that might have been able to save his life here. Marie is upset at unleashing Godolkin, saying that she'll always be the girl that just cuts herself. Only a woman could find a way to make being the second coming of Christ a negative thing. She brings her sister back from the dead and she's like, oh, I'm so useless.
Shut the fuck up.
Literally after saying this, she cures Kate's brain damage, by the way. Godolkin starts inviting students to his seminars, allowing those that are too weak to pass his test to be killed. He wants to be powerful enough to control Marie, so then he can be powerful enough to control Homelander. And oh no, Sage, the master genius, couldn't figure out that the supremacist cares more about only having the strongest in society over anything else. But I thought she was smart, writers. The group decide that they need to stop him, and so they infiltrate one of his sessions, hiding the rest of the group up this guy's asshole. Just don't question it. And for some reason he decides not to control these. He decides to maintain his control over the weaker, beaten up students instead of going after these stronger ones. Why did you make him an idiot in the last episode? Oh right, it's for this scene here.
We beat you. All of us. Even the useless ones.
Get it? Because everyone is special and important, even the rapist. You really didn't think this analogy through, did you, writers? Turns out the entire fight was pretty pointless anyways, because as soon as Marie uses her powers on Godolkin, he takes control of her. So none of this was necessary in the slightest. They just wanted a fight scene before this confrontation. He begins to kill them all, but then Polarity shows up and negates his mind control powers, allowing Marie to quickly blow him up. Just blows him up instantly. 7.5 episodes of build up and he's just blown up. Goodbye, the most interesting character this franchise has introduced in like 4 seasons. You were gone too soon. Anyways, you remember how last season ended with the good guys getting framed for the massacre at Godolkin? Well, guess what the writers copied for this season's ending? They end up going on the run, and then when they stop for a rest, Annie appears, going, hey guys, thank you so much for doing that thing I told you about while I disappear to do fuck all off screen. Why don't you join this resistance I have with A-Train? And then the season ends. That's it. Completely fucking underwhelming for me personally.
Oh wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
They might as well have just put up a big sign saying, if you want a solid conclusion to this season, you're gonna have to wait for The Boys Season 5 to come out. Cameos. Everyone loves cameos. Can't get enough of them according to this season. In the previous one there were cameos, but they were either relevant to the plot, were used to set up future plot lines, or they made sense to the setting, such as a picture on the wall or A-Train appearing on the news, shit like that. But here, oh boy. The Deep is randomly inserted this season to shove a giant wooden dildo up the arses of a frat house and then he just disappears. Why did we need this? Why go through all this time and effort getting the actor in, and all you're going to do is have him sodomize some college students and then leave?
Why are you gay?
The same thing happens with Sage. She shows up, immediately talks about how white people are le racist, and then she gets her pussy pounded before leaving. Thank you, show. Thanks for that. Really integral to the plot for me to know that Cypher likes getting slapped before sex.
Einstein was a racist.
Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring!
Sage gets a decent amount of screen time, and the only thing she does that has any significance, despite taking credit for everything that happens in the plot, again, is leaving this door open. Starlight literally appears to tell Marie that she needs to go and join the main plot, and then she just disappears for the rest of the season until the final minute of the last episode. Do you want to help to take down Vought in whatever Project Odessa is? Oh no, never mind, Annie, you're too busy being Starlight things. I don't know. She literally, she just shows up to save Marie and tell her to do the plot, and then she's just gone. It's weird.
Sayonara, nigga!
Once again, the power levels fluctuate and change so often, I genuinely don't even bother trying to think who will win in a fight. I just wait until it's over. Luke in the first season was apparently so strong that Vought were looking at him as the next Homelander, and then during his fight with Jordan, Jordan manages to put up a decent fight and delay him even if they ultimately lose. Then Jordan is being manhandled by 3 regular humans, and they just completely struggle against them for some reason. Marie was also shown to be extremely strong and durable, and yet for the first time we see her, she's getting absolutely demolished by 4 Trump supporters like a little bitch. She somehow has the same potential to be on the same level as Homelander, and yet a punch to the face is enough to damage her.
That's stupid! Use your common sense!
So unfortunately, if you were expecting some well-written, depth-filled content, well, you're watching Gen V, so obviously you weren't going to be getting that, were you? I guess the biggest question on your mind is this season of Gen V worse than Season 4 of The Boys? And my answer to that would probably be no. It's bland and boring, and it still suffers from the same problems that's in Season 4, but Season 4 went out of its way to be insufferably, pretentiously smug in regards to its politics, and having some of the worst plot lines and handling of sensitive content that I've seen on a TV show. Gen V Season 2 is just kind of nothing in comparison. If you enjoy the visual equivalent of watching piss-infused paint slowly dry on a wall, then maybe give this season a shot, but besides that, you can just skip this one. Thanks for watching, lads and lasses. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing and checking out some of my other videos. Sharing always helps, and if you're feeling really generous, please consider my Patreon or YouTube membership. I also have a Twitter and occasionally I do live streams. But most of all, I just hope you had a great day, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.